What's up, college football fans? We back today. Man, hot off the presses, man. Brendan SORSBY. This was a shock, I feel, to everybody. Even Tech fans had to be in shock. You know, of course, they're happy because they like, okay, we got our starting quarterback. But, man, this was shocking. You know, Brendan SORSBY today, he was ruled eligible by a local Texas judge in Lubbock, Texas. Like I say, it smells fishy, guys. I think everybody knows that too. You know, first of all, this shows right in here, the NCAA, whatever power they used to think they had, it's no more. This right here sets a precedent, like, I'm telling you, because now you're suspending a guy for 2 games that he out his own mouth said he gambled when he was in Indiana, when he was in Cincinnati, when he started in Texas Tech, he was still gambling. They said he placed over $90,000 worth of bets. And like I said, he was sending money to friends for doing bets. So you would think it would be cut and dry, like, okay, you know, and I'm not even saying, I know some people are like, man, look, what Pete Rose and all that, they would be like, man, you know what, just completely take him out the game. Me, I said, you know what, suspend him for the year, you know, then we see what after that. And like I say, I don't know about, you know, his eligibility and, you know, all that, so maybe that wasn't an option. But the judge practically put out a statement and said, you know, that it almost made it seem like, I don't got it exactly in front of it, almost made it seem like they didn't want to punish him too harshly. You know, it would, you know, mess up his future. That's what happened when you do something wrong that you know that's clearly in the rule books. You got to face the consequences. Like, it makes zero sense. I think that anybody who's been, you know, just been, you know, watching from afar and just watching this clearly, you like, wait a minute. Think about all the teams that have done, you know, Alabama, Georgia, even Michigan recently. Think about the teams that people just hate and want to get punished, and then you don't even have this near scandal. But now you got a guy came out, he's caught red-handed, and like I said, you know, look, I don't know the judge, I don't know nothing going on, but it's some money being thrown in his pocket. It's some money thrown in his pocket. You can best believe that. Because now you got to think, guys, if this is gonna go all throughout sports, because every time people, if they caught gambling on the game or something, now it's gonna go back to, well, you know, when Brendan SORSBY, and think about, I don't know if y'all, you know, college football fans, if you watch the NBA, Terry Rozier from the Miami Heat, he was caught in a thing with gambling and multiple NBA players. So this is just not a one-time thing. It's plenty of players doing this, and the problem with the people who don't understand this, because you can influence the game so much, especially if you're betting on your games, or even if you're betting on other games. Say you know a player and you like whatever you're betting on, you told the player to do this. It's just so much stuff in the air that it brings in to question the game. People already question the integrity of the game. This right now is making people question more. And you know, ever since the NIL deals and all that, like I said, college football, I still love college football, but man, I'm telling you, the NCAA they're showing they have no power. The NCAA, they may appeal, but I don't think it's going to do nothing, because the judge already ruled. I think it is what it is. He's going to be playing. He's missing 2 games. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't even matter, because the first 2 games, they're not playing nobody. Like, if you watch my previous video, it's Texas Tech. They schedule is a cupcake schedule, so they're not playing anybody anyways. But like I said, man, you know, it's just crazy, because like I say, first of all, why is a local judge ruling on this case? Shouldn't it be somebody impartial, you know, somebody who's doesn't gain nothing to benefit this, you know, somebody who's, like I say, they have no connections to Texas, they have no connections to anybody in their community. But now, like I said, and then look, I'm gonna read this is what the NCAA put out. The NCAA said the NCAA strongly disagrees with the court's ruling in SORSBY case and is deeply concerning about the damaging, far-reaching, and broadly destabilizing ramifications of this outcome, which undermines and corrupts the integrity of sports. The NCAA is committed to supporting student-athlete mental health, but must continue to aggressively defend against actions that defraud college athletics and threaten competitive integrity, such as betting on one's own sport. That sounds all good and well, but one thing that the NCAA, like I said, you're showing you have no power right now. But one thing they are right about is the integrity of the sport. Because like I'm saying, man, people already question everything. They already like, man, is this real? Is the referee, when the referee throw the flag, because to watch this now, what are y'all gonna do when the referees are gambling on the game and they're caught? Because I know it's some already doing it and they're gambling on the games. What are you gonna do then? Like I say, it opens up a lot of, conversation, guys. And like I say, man, let me know in the comments what y'all think. I think, like I say, Brendan SORSBY, you know, they said he learned his lesson. Guys, you don't learn your lesson that fast after you was placing over 9,000 bets and all of a sudden you just cold turkey. No, he didn't learn his lesson that quick. One thing he learned, he probably learned to be smarter and not have no trail that his name is attached to. Because like I said, he had to cop to it. As soon as I seen him check himself into, you know, it was a gambling rehab. That's what people do when, you know, you want to clean up your image. That's what anybody who was, you know, handling Brendan SORSBY, they would have been like, hey, we're going to check you in here to make it look like you're on the right path, clean you up. And I know even Texas Tech probably didn't even think that they was going to get 2 games. Well, maybe they did know. Maybe when the judge got that $5 million, whatever they put in his pocket, like I say, they need to be watching, because I'm telling you, it was something suspicious about that. And like I say, it's just showing college football right now. You know, Michigan a couple years ago, you remember when Michigan got off, it was the year they won the championship. It was with the, was it still in the hand signals, the plays? It was something like that. But it's just showing like they didn't get no, it was barely any penalty for them. It's just showing right now like college football is the wild, wild west, and you finna have a lot of people just cheating. Because I'm expecting, like, even with the NIL deals, I'm expecting for it to come out, like say sooner than later, that a lot of the people, you know, it's backdoor deals. It's kids who on contracts say they getting $5 million, were really getting 11 or 12 million, because, you know, they getting paid somewhere else. So like I say, man, college football right now, it's like I said, we gonna see guys what happens. You know, like I say, man, the season is gonna be, before you know it's gonna be here. Texas Tech, like I said, of course they're happy. You know, Brendan SORSBY, he was the better quarterback option. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't have Texas Tech winning no championship, whether he was there or not there, but he is the better option. So, like I say, man, we'll see what happens. But I know one thing, anybody else who's caught gambling, I don't want to see them suspended for no 5-6 games or put out for the season. We better not see that, because like I said, you already showed right here what happens. Like I said, yeah, having good attorneys, having some money. But guys, like I said, man, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you next time.